Bismillah, I testify that there is no deity except Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his last messenger. This is a video to my brother Jerry. You sent me the latest from your latest email. There is a link in it, and it is about Christian Prince, or done by Christian Prince, and it's about this: where does, or what does Islam say about Paul the Apostle? Question and answer. And Yusha or Joshua Evans is there as a speaker, and obviously someone asked him about Paul. So Yusha or Joshua says that there is no specific teaching about Paul, and he's right. Now, and he says that we don't know what he is exactly, whether misled or did whatever he did on purpose, but he definitely has nothing to do with Jesus, peace be upon him. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is just to show you what's happening around here, because I'm doing this just me and you here. But what I want you to do now is stop my video, go to the original video, to your link, and I will post a link, and listen to Christian Prince talking. So cheap, so low. He's talking about the two men next to him, and he's saying those two donkeys. I mean, look, if I had to listen to someone, the moment he says that, that's it. He's no longer on my list of people to listen to. And I just wonder, you, Jerry, sound like a good man, yet you listen to such a low man.
Qualified to answer. And here I look at the donkeys beside this guy. Not even one of them, he said to him, "Are you stupid or what? Look how long the beard is." Not even one donkey, he said to him, "Stupid idiot you. You just destroyed Islam."
Really, he has no manners. He talks about people, oh, look at them, look at the long beards, donkeys. Because these two men, donkeys, he doesn't even know them. They could be much better than him. They could be more knowledgeable than him. It does not matter what they look like, who they are. What matters is they are a human being, and he should not be calling them donkeys. Okay? We Muslims, when we talk, when we debate, when we discuss, we call nobody a donkey. But your Christian Prince, whom calls himself Christian Prince, is calling people donkeys. It's really a shame. And I'm not only saying shame on him, but shame on you, Jerry, listening to such a man and sending me such a thing. I will listen to him and get back to you. Now, the next thing, Jerry, Mr. Christian Prince asked a very good question, and he said, how come you Muslims consider Paul as a bad person, yet your prophet never said a bad word about him? Spot on, Mr. Christian Prince. We don't say a bad word about anybody. That is the manners of our beloved prophet and our manners. So when we discuss, we leave on the side the person, because we don't have a problem with people here. We have a problem of creed. Our beloved prophet, and I'm answering you and answering him, and I will post this. Our beloved prophet did not come pointing fingers and saying, oh, well, that man, and that man, and saying bad things about them. Like he's asking, Why did your prophet not say a bad word about him? Our prophet has been sent to deliver a message, which is what? Which is what he hears from Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim, God, to the people. So the message from God to the people. Do you really think that God is going to be there talking about Paul and all his shortcomings and bad deeds? No. God sends a message to people and say, look, you guys have been misled. The whole thing, the whole concept of Christianity is wrong because it is based on Trinity, based on having God coming down to earth, taking on flesh and becoming a human being walking around you. Totally wrong. So that's the message of Quran. That's the message of our beloved prophet. Okay? Now this is just an answer to his question, and I will get back to you. I will follow up. I am back to you, Jerry. Jerry, Christian Prince said on one hand that, oh, Islam has nothing to do with people. The original Islam was good and all that, and then the people after that came in and started changing it and to collect money. And then he wanted to prove to us that there is a verse in the Quran that shows that Paul is there, mentioned as a great messenger of Allah. And then talks, look, he's using the Quran, and right in the spot there in minute 6 and 31 seconds, he says that the Quran is a stupid book. It's like he doesn't know what he's saying, to be honest. But I will follow up and get back to you. Yep. So he got to the point where he goes to an Islamic website where he can find, oh, you can go to, Jerry, or anyone else, where he can find translation or interpretation of the Quran. So he quotes a statement of someone. Now, we have to, all of us, you and I need you, Jerry, and if you have a way to convey this to Mr. Christian Prince, yeah, to tell him that Ibn Kathir is a historian, okay? In Islam, when we say that we don't have, when Joshua Evans said that we have no specific teaching about or message about Paul, yes, we don't. Because when we say it's in the Quran or it's in the Prophet himself said it. Now, what he's quoting here is what his name is, Shu'aib al-Jaba'i. This guy, whom has never met the Prophet, is saying this. And for your information and his information, at the time, many Christians and Jews came to Islam, and they still had these stories, these made-up stories from somewhere, saying that there was Simon, John, and Paul being sent by Jesus. Now, go to history, find Jesus sending Paul, Jesus sending, what's his name? Simon, John, any Simon, any John, and Paul to Antioch. You go and find it. I would love to see it from you, Jerry, or from him. He who is going around calling people stupid and donkeys and really, really low. I am watching this and following it only for you, because of you, Jerry. Otherwise, I would not listen to this man at all. I've known him for years. He's foul speech, a dirty mouth. He can say anything in order to make himself famous. Now, the very same narration that Mr. Christian Prince has brought has 2 or 3 editions. In another one, he himself, this guy Shu'aib al-Jabai, comes in and brings in a different one, what is from Ibn Ishaq. You remember, Ibn Kathir said that this Shu'aib al-Jabai brought in Simon, John, and Paul. If we go to Ibn Ishaq, whom is another historian, he said Sadiq, Saduq, and Shalom. These are the totally three different ones, right? So the whole story is someone saying something, the historian has brought it up. That's for fairness sake. If someone says it, it's in history. It is written. True or false, you have to go and check it. Okay? Make sure it's not a lie. And in this particular one, we do not take anything like that. In the Quran, where it says that there has been 2 messengers sent to these people, and then when they disbelieved them, we sent a 3rd one. Find me in your Christian tradition anything like that. The second thing that he uses, and he say, oh, Ibn Kathir is a scholar. He's not like these idiots. Really, when did Ibn Kathir become to you a scholar? Because if he was a scholar, you would listen to him when he says that there is no 3 in 1. There is one and only. So now he is a scholar compared to the other so-called donkeys. Fair play to you. You're a true follower of Jesus. And then he goes around and he says, no man can send a messenger. Only God can send a messenger. Therefore, Jesus is God. It's a little bit fishy. I'm going to read some more and get back to you. Now, back to you, Jerry. Again, I'm going through what he's doing and what he's saying and all that, and he shows here and there. But I'm doing my own research right next to his. And then there is one of the very famous scholars, not like his scholars. His name is Qurtubi. So in the Qurtubi, he does not mention anything about this man called Paul, whereas he say that these 2 in the tafsir of Ibn Abbas, whom is the most knowledgeable among the companions of our Prophet, he said that 2 apostles, yes, have been sent. So Simon was sent to the Canaan, and then Thomas is the second one, and they denied both of them. So Simon Peter, yes, was sent to them, but there is a note in here. There's no Paul. There's no Paul. Paul does not exist. Conveniently, your Christian prince, he would leave all these teachings, all these sources of knowledge and scholars, but he would go to the one where it says, oh, and then Paul, Simon, John, and Paul. And there are many other editions where they say, no, it was someone else. They were talking about a totally different story, yet he will bring that. Why? Well, conveniently, he wants to make a point, and while he's doing that, he calls everyone a donkey. I will pause this and get back to you, Jerry. Hey, Jerry. I really wish we were sitting together, and I will take you through this and expose the deception of Mr. Christian Prince. Do you know what he did? He went to a website which shows part of the Al-Alusi, which he considers a big scholar, and he's so proud of him only because he quoted what John and Paul said. Now, I just want to remind you one thing. when me and you are discussing a topic, let's say anything. I'm going to pick anything, just like this. Say that the Bible says God is one, and I am quoting, and I will be quoting, and I'll say, let's say in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4, it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one." I'm quoting from the Bible. I'm saying quoting. And I'll go and quote again from, this was, of course, you know, the Old Testament. And I would go to the New Testament, like the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29, where he says exactly the same thing. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one." So I'm quoting. Am I saying anything else? I am quoting. So our scholar in here, the Alusi, is saying this is what John said in the book of John, and this is what Paul said in the book of Romans, the letter to the Romans, the book of Romans, like it is in the deceiver Christian, the prince, is saying that this Muslim scholar here is actually praising Paul. He's telling the scholar is actually refuting Paul and saying, look what Paul said. Yeah? He's saying that we are the children of God and his loved ones. And this man, it's amazing. It's just amazing how this deceiver works, and you guys don't even, you listen to him with a closed mind and a closed heart. I wish you could just see this. I am going to put this, I will take snapshots, I will drop them in here, and I hope you will be able to watch this. Watch his deception. Because all he's saying here is, a scholar quoted this. I mean, how is that part of Islam? I don't get it. I honestly do not get this. And if, Jerry, be honest with yourself. Go back to it. It's minute number 1424. It is there where he goes and copy from the Arabic to the Google translator, and he puts in there, and he says, you see, here, Paul is mentioned. Hello, Paul is mentioned. But he is mentioned as someone who actually changed the word of Jesus and the teaching. And he, in his letter to the Romans, he is telling them that we are the children and loved one, and that the Spirit attests to our lives. Okay? He's telling them that we are the children and the loved ones. Yeah? As if it was granted to him, sent by God himself. But anyway, I will follow him and get back to you. But honestly, I swear to God, honest to God, I am glad you sent me this, because I can see the deception. I hope you will be able to see it too. But honestly, like, I can't believe you missed this, and I count you as an intelligent person, and you missed this. In this bit here where he shows the translation, and I'm going to take a snapshot, he's saying that Paul is trying to explain the stupid Quran. That's his word. He says stupid Quran. I just don't get it. How? And if you can explain it to me, how is Paul saying that explaining the Quran? How is all this related to Quran? Yeah. Someone quoting someone, and that's it. It stops there. And he's trying to link that to Quran. But he does not say Quran. He says, like, this great apostle is trying to explain this stupid Quran. I mean, look at this. I mean, God himself, or God Almighty, would send a great messenger to explain the Quran. And not only Quran, but explain the stupid Quran. The stupid Quran, so that the God sent the great messenger 600 years before the Quran comes, and he is in here, and I am going to read it. I will drop a snapshot. I'm going to read it. And it says, and said the Apostle Paul in his letter to the King of the Romans, the Spirit attests to our lives that we are the sons of God and his loved ones, to countless other countless. And as he said, Google is not the best of translators, but that's just a machine. Yeah.
If we go to the chapter of An'am,
back to you, Jerry. Let me stop that, man. Do you know what he's saying? He's saying that all those Muslim donkeys, he's calling all Muslims donkeys, and those who are talking about Paul and his teaching, he's saying that our books, the Muslim books, are actually stating that Paul is a great messenger, and that we're even quoting him. Now let me give you an example. Now that I'm talking to you, I would quote something that Christian Prince just said in there. He said, "This donkey has a beard on his face." So I just quoted Christian Prince. Does that make me praising him or me agreeing with him that Joshua Evans is a donkey with a beard? Does that mean that? It is obvious, isn't it? It's obvious that when I am discussing something with you and I quote that person, that I am not saying that person is a great scholar, a Christian Prince. Just because I quoted what he said about Joshua Evans doesn't mean that he is a great scholar. That's exactly what our scholars are talking when they are, and they have the fairness and the courage to actually quote even the fallacies that were said at the time. They are quoted, and that is called honesty of quotation. Okay, so please follow what he is saying. I'm going to follow him up and get back to you. I may not be able to go beyond that. I stopped at minute 16, and I might be going to beyond the limit of YouTube, but I'll try to put some more. Did you hear what he said about David Wood? He said, I don't want to put him down, but he's not knowledgeable about Islam and even the Bible. I tell you what, for fairness sake, not because he's out there and he's talking rubbish, but I believe David Wood is way better than this man. And if you are going to listen to someone whom is, these apologetics whom come and want to show you that Islam is false and that Christianity is right or truth, listen to David Wood. At least he has manners. Yeah. Whereas this man has no manners. He calls everyone stupid. Everyone is donkey. Everyone is nothing. Everyone is afraid of debating him. I just dropped a message there on this link here. I'm asking him to debate me. And I'm asking you to put me through to him if you have a contact with him. He said he will show us Ibn Isaac. Well, in Arabic say Ibn Ishaq, but he's going to show us Ibn Isaac. Let's listen. Right, Jerry. He said he's going to be quoting from someone. He called him Ibn Isaac. He started reading from minute 16 until I stopped right here, minute 21 and 24 seconds. He didn't show anything, it was just the clouds on there. He's reading, and I do not trust that. I don't know where he's reading from. He said a book. I don't know what is that. You see, you can just quote from anywhere. As I already said to you, remember, these are historians. They are saying what they heard, the stories they heard. That's one thing. Second thing, many Christians and Jews converted to Islam, and they were still saying these stories. So our historians, whom he is calling scholars, they're not scholars. We need to be very careful in using these words. A scholar is a scholar in some field, okay? Meaning he's good at that. So what he means here, oh, he's a scholar in Islam. No, he is not. He is a historian. He is only collecting stories from here and there. That's it. And if this man, Mr. Christian Prince, if he wants to be honest, let him read what's before and what's after. The context of this whole readings of his. There has to be something before and after that. Unfortunately, he wants to deceive you who believes him, and he doesn't show anything. It's only clouds in there. I'm going to stop and get back to you. Do you know what he's saying now? It's minute 22 and 1 second. He's saying that who knows Islam better? Is it those scholars that he is? According to him, they're scholars. I call them historians. They're not scholars at all. He's saying these scholars, and he said Ibn Kathir and Alusi and Ibn Ishaq and Ibn Hisham, or that he calls him now, they are not idiots. He is calling Evans, Yusha or Joshua Evans is the stupid idiot. So he's saying that those scholars, according to him, for 1,400, they have been praising him and nobody knows. And then Joshua Evans is actually the idiot, the donkey with a beard. What this man here is saying is that somewhere else, Ibn Kathir, Al-Alusi, Ibn Ishaq, Ibn Hisham are confirming the message of Islam, which Joshua Evans is saying in there as a cream. You see, in a conference like that, which he brought as a video, you're a speaker, you finish the speech, it's question and answer session. So someone asks you a question, you answer. You don't go around like those historians, they bring stories and stories, because it will take a day or two in order to read all those books. You go straight and say it. Say, in Islam does not talk about Paul at all. He does not matter. Who matters, of course, is Jesus, and his story is in the Quran and in the Hadith, the teachings of the Prophet. But Paul is nobody. Paul is nobody. So Islam doesn't have to talk about him. Oh, Allah in the Quran doesn't have to talk about him. Okay? It's just like many other deceivers, many others, and you'd find some of them, whom Mr. Christian Prince is a member of the club, and I am going to be listening to his stuff, whatever he posts, and if you get anything, send it to me, and I will refute him. I'll debunk all what he comes with. I'm back again. I know that on the video it doesn't show that I paused it, but I paused it for like 15 minutes, and now he brought up check it out yourself. minute 30 and 55 seconds. He brings in a translation from the Arabic to English. It's another deception, unfortunately, and it's really, really bad one. I mean, go and read it yourself. You can read English. What he's trying to say here is our historian, as he calls it, scholar Ibn Ishaq, is saying, or in other words, as he wishes to be, is confirming that Paul is actually someone. Now, Ibn Ishaq, our historian, is reporting what was being said at the time. Okay? Again, reminder, there were Jews and Christians who came to Islam, and they were saying these stories. Not even just the Arabs. They heard these stories. So a historian will tell you whatever is there. Okay? You can go and check other historians where they are saying literally whatever has been said at the time. Okay? They would even tell you many, in like one topic, different stories, different names, different instances and circumstances. Okay? Just like take the example of the death and the resurrection of Jesus from the 4 Gospels, and you will see that it's a whole different story. You can check it yourself. Now, this man here, now, I was saying that he has no morals and all that. Now I feel sorry for him. Really. He's struggling so much to make up and to weave this net of lies in order to deceive you. And he calls every Muslim a stupid idiot and a donkey and all that. And he wants himself to be the best. Well, good luck to him. He can be the best. But all I can see now, he's the best liar and best deceiver. Very, very unfortunate. I feel really, really sorry. If I could speak to him, I'll tell him that all what you're doing here is in vain. So I'm going to stop now and I'm going to finish a bit. Hey, what happened is at some stage at minute 31, 57 seconds, he goes back to Google. There are 3, I took snapshot, I will put it up. There are 3 links, the result of the search. The first one shows a link to a Christian website, okay, that talks about Paul from Muslim sources, books, and so on and so forth. The second one is from an Islamic website. The third one, and I highlighted the word Paul on it, it says Paul the liar. So what your man in here does is he leaves the link that says Paul the liar. He leaves the Muslim website and he goes to the Christian one and he quotes from it. Whatever, because there are a lot of Christians nowadays doing this. He's one of them. And they bring it up in their websites. So if you look at it, you as a non-Arab Muslim, a non-Arabic speaker Christian, will think, oh yeah, he's quoting from Muslims, from Arabs. But no, he's not. When he shows these things, he shows what his friends are doing. And then you can scroll and it's all Arabic and it's all good. And the sources are from, yeah, but that's quoting, yeah, references. In order to convince Arabic speakers or Muslims, they'll go and show them these bits. Oh, here, look, it's their scholar. It's a great scholar. It's Ibn Ishaq. It's Ibn Hisham, and so on and so forth. Only to show them that, oh yeah, Paul is mentioned in Islamic literature as a great scholar. And it's very, very, very sad. It's very, very bad presented. But it cannot escape an eye of an Arabic speaker, and I'm following. So, minute 40 and 7 seconds. It took him a lot of time to actually get to this point, to get to a website that is published by the Saudi Arabian government educational system. And in this bit here, it talks about the explanation of the verse that he brought up there, that says we've sent 2 messengers and they have been rejected, and then we sent a 3rd one. So your man in here goes to the website. There's a page in there, and by the way, I took a snapshot and I'm going to show it to you. So what he shows is he highlights, he copy, pastes it in Google Translator, and starts reading a bit and stops and comes back to the page. I will leave all that, but I will go straight to the point. I highlighted the bit that he did not read, and of course there is his original highlight. He reads one of the opinions that were written there as an explanation of that verse, and he leaves the following bit that says totally the opposite of what he said. I highlighted there and I leave it to you. It's amazing. It's just, all it says, what he said, is that someone quoted from the book of Acts. What is wrong with me quoting from the book of Acts? What? What is it? There's nothing wrong. Here, I'm going to quote. Book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 22. Go and check it. I'm not going to do like him and do all the copy paste and all that, and go and check it. Go and see what it says. It's Peter talking to the Israelite about Jesus of Nazareth, a man. Is there anything wrong with me quoting from the book of Acts? What? Am I acknowledging the book of Acts? I am not. I respect the book of Acts, and while I am discussing with you, I will quote from the book of Acts. That's it. And then I will continue and I will refute Paul, and I will refute the Gospels and the Bible and the Trinity and so on and so forth. I will refute it. There's no harm, there's no problem. I'm nobody, and you know me. I'm your random Muslim whom actually take the time and talk to Christians or Catholics about religion. You know, I could have been somewhere else, not in there every Saturday where you used to see me. I could be somewhere else doing something more interesting, more fun, or resting, or anything else. But no, I chose to be there and spoke to you. So me quoting from the book of Acts doesn't mean that I believe in the book of Acts. That website that he quotes and he shows to people to mislead them, that, oh, here, look, the Muslim scholars, the Saudis' website is actually quoting Apostle Paul as a great man who actually performed miracles. Hello? They are quoting what the book of Acts is saying. That's it. That's all. And right after that, the following lines actually refute the whole lot. Yet, Mr. Christian Prince would want to show you and show the Arabic speakers one little bit in order to convince you. And that I call deception. If he was honest, and if you, Christian Prince, if you were an honest person, let alone a Christian, you don't qualify for a Christian. I've known Christians. They are the most, like, they could be the same level as Muslims. The proper Muslim, of course, not your random Muslim you meet on the street. They're very honest and very polite. They have manners. Whereas you are a deceiver. I'm talking to you, Christian Prince. If you ever get a chance to watch my video, and yes, I'm here, right here, I want to debate you and debunk you, refute you, and expose you as a deceiver. Just because you can read a bit of Arabic, you would want to go out there and do what you're doing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Sir, shame on you for deceiving others, for grabbing 2-3 lines where these people are quoting from anywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's a Bible or it's something else, or it's just one of the followers who never met our beloved Prophet. It's just someone who heard the story. And you calling Joshua Evans a donkey with a long beard is really low. It's really, really dirty. I'm gonna see a bit more. It's too long for me to refute every word you say, because each and every word you said in this video is an attempt to deceive people. And I'm saying it to you. Yes, Mr. Christian Prince, you are a liar and a deceiver. Okay, I have to wrap it up. It's 11 in the evening or night. It's very late and I'm working tomorrow. So that's it. I hereby declare Mr. Christian Prince a liar and a deceiver for this particular video here that you sent me, Jerry. I will post it, and I will add to it some snapshots, and I will follow Mr. Christian Prince and refute him and expose him. That's it. Assalamu alaikum. Hi Jerry, and hi Christian Prince. Hi everyone, whoever is watching this. This is just a follow-up about what Christian Prince said in his video, which I will post a link to it, where he says that the verse in chapter 36 verse 14 is talking about Paul. Now when he says Paul, we all know that is after Jesus, right? Yeah, that is not a very far era. So in history, that's like somewhere 2,000 years ago. Now the Quran will be talking about the city Antioch that has received the first 2 messengers, and then the third one would be Paul. Okay, now if we go to the Quran and we read the story that Mr. Christian Prince is trying to sell to us as being the proof of Paul being the messenger mentioned in the Quran, the story will end not to his favor, really bad to him. I got bad news to you, for you, Jerry and Christian Prince. The city spoken about in chapter 36, verse 14, has been destroyed, okay, by God, because they did not believe the messengers, and they stoned them. Okay, so now here's a challenge to you, Jerry, and to this man here, Mr. Christian Prince. Show me in history or in the Bible that says that Antioch has been destroyed and every one of them died in there. I challenge you, Jerry, and the others, and Christian Prince himself, and whoever is knowledgeable enough to take on this subject. It's a universal challenge to all of you Christians out there, starting with you, Jerry, and Christian Prince. All right, now, peace.